This is a plaintiff, Dorothy Velez. She says the defendant was drunk, was driving the wrong way down a one-way street, and smashed into her parked car at 1 a.m. The defendant's insurance company paid for the damages, but she's still on the hook for the impound fees on her smashed-up car. She's suing the irresponsible guy for $3,000, the amount she's most definitely and most positively owed. This is the defendant, John Vlasopoulos. He says he's actually very surprised by this lawsuit because his insurance company settled up with the plaintiff. Now she's coming after him because she took her sweet time getting her car out of storage. And he's responsible? He thinks not. He's accused of coming up short.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant smashed into her car in a drunken stupor, but he says the insurance company paid her and any other damages were her fault. It's the case of, forget my high beams, I had my gym beams on.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Dorothy Velez, you are suing John Vlasopoulos for $3,000, $1,700 of it pain and suffering, and $1,300 of it impound fees for 2 months that you are being charged or were charged in order to get your car out of impound after it was impounded when he crashed it.
Right.
Okay, what day did this happen?
I believe it was the 8th.
Okay, of what?
March.
What happened?
I woke up to cops knocking on my door, and
What time of the night or day?
it was like at like 12:50. So by the time they did everything, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was the next day. But they knocked on my door. They said someone had hit your car. I woke up, went outside, and seen that his car was into the second car already because he hit mine first. But my car got the worst of it. He pushed my car onto the curb and onto the second car. Backed up, tried to leave, pulled my car off. Yeah, it's still on the curb. Messed his car up as he was trying to leave. Hit the second car, which the second car...
How do you know how the accident happened? You weren't there?
My neighbors
saw it?
Yes.
Oh, so they described to you that it
Yeah, they
happened
were
that way?
outside, and when he tried to leave, the one neighbor said that she jumped in front of him. It jumped in front of the car and wouldn't let him leave to try to write his
that's a crazy
license
neighbor.
plate.
Yeah, I don't recommend that at all.
Right.
Go on.
But she said that when he hit into her car hit the third car. So at that point, the cops were already on their way, and it was just a big mess.
What happened?
I had a passenger on the right side that I was taking home. She was staying over a friend's house, and I asked her to let me know when to make the turn to go down to her street. And right as we were coming up to the light, she says, make a right, make a right. So I made a quick right. I didn't see the first car on the right there, which was a black car. I had sideswiped the car, which was a one-way street. I was going the wrong way on a one-way street.
You can't notice that on your own, even if a passenger's telling you to make a right? You can't notice a one-way sign?
I understand that.
Yeah, were you drinking?
I wasn't paying it. No.
Were you stoned?
No.
Okay. What time of the night was this? 1 in the morning?
It was
midnight?
It was about 12:30. Yeah.
Okay.
So I sideswiped the one car on the right-hand side, which actually had broken my axle and caused my car to continue to swerve toward the right. The right side of the tire actually was wobbled out this way.
Did you try to leave?
No, I did not try to leave.
Why does the neighbor think you tried to leave?
I had placed my foot, I kept it on the brake and tried to put my car back in park in gear. And I heard a lady on the porch going, you trying to leave, you trying to leave. Nobody had jumped in front of my car. Nobody ran out to the street. That never happened. I just heard a lady yell, he's trying to leave, he's trying to leave. And I wasn't trying to leave. I was just trying to get my car into park so I could get out and look at the damages to see how bad it really was.
Okay. How bad was it?
It was pretty bad.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Right. Now, apparently, your car gets towed.
Yes, got towed that night.
Why?
Because they said that they needed it because it was so damaged that it couldn't be on the street.
Okay, but why didn't you have it towed to a repair shop?
Because the police officer said they needed to take it to the impound so an appraiser from his insurance company can come look at
No,
it.
they don't need to take it to the impound so an appraiser from his insurance company can go look at it. They need to tell you you need to get it off the road because you can't have it parked there, crash. But it doesn't have to go to the police impound for that. Did you have tickets on it?
No.
You sure? Mm-hmm. So
No.
I don't understand why it goes to police impound.
I didn't understand that either. And
But
as a
I
matter
mean, why
of
didn't you
fact,
just take it out and put it in a place so that his insurance company can go visit it at a car repair place?
because they were trying to total it.
Do you understand that when the car is an impound, they charge you by the day?
Yes, but I was under the impression that his insurance company was going to pay for that because that's what they had said in the
Look at
beginning.
you. And now here you are with this enormous impound fee.
Right.
And you settled the case with the insurance company for
Right.
how much?
For 17.
Did you mention the
86.
impound fees at that point?
Yes, and they said they refused to pay for it because they said it was too much.
So did you reject the $1,700?
At first, because I was trying to get enough so where I can fix my car and
Pay the impound
pay the
fees.
impound, but they weren't
And didn't
budging
the
at all.
insurance company say to you, what are you doing with the car in impound? Didn't the police say, when are you going to
No.
pick up your car?
Nothing.
But didn't you think, you know that they're billing you each day in impound, don't you?
Right, but
you just didn't care because you just figured somebody else would pay it?
No.
So each
No,
day,
no.
as month after month went by, didn't you foresee that there would be a problem? If you took it out the next day and brought it to a place and everything happened the same way, all the same, the adjuster takes his sweet time, they take a while to settle with you, all that could happen somewhere where they're not charging you by the day.
I was on the insurance company on the phone with them every day. Literally, they were the worst insurance company to get a hold of. I was leaving messages after messages. They were returning my calls.
But you know that they're charging you by the day while it's in impound.
He had told me that I wasn't going to be having to pay for anything. He told me that they were going to take care of it, that they were going to settle. And they were waiting for other people to get back to them. There was also 2 other people in the accident, so they also had to get everything from their information and in order to settle, even to move on.
Do you have any proof that the insurance company instructed you to keep your bill at impound getting bigger and bigger and bigger, as opposed to that you just weren't worrying about it because you didn't think it would end up being your problem? Do you have anything in writing from them saying, don't move your car, please, by all means, leave it in a place where they're charging you how much a day?
$25 a day.
$25 a day.
Yes, I do
Each day, it was a $25 problem on day one, and it's become
right.
now
And if I would have
$1,300.
known that I was getting charged for this, I would have gotten it
No, but you
out
didn't
that
know you
day.
were getting charged. You just thought somebody else would reimburse it and pay it, so you weren't worried. But you knew that there was a charge for impound. You understand that.
Right, I do.
What's your position?
Honestly, like I said, I don't feel like I should have to pay for the how long the car was in the lot. It's not my responsibility to remove the car from the lot. So I don't believe I should have to pay for that. As far as pain and suffering.
Pain and suffering is very easy. I don't even need you to respond. This is a car accident. It's not pain and suffering. The fact that it's inconvenient does not mean you have a pain and suffering claim.
Okay.
Pain and suffering is for personal injury type cases, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But I understand what you're saying. What she's saying is, but for you driving like a maniac, I wouldn't have these problems. But what you're saying is, well, you created a second problem by leaving it in impound for 2 months. That problem I didn't create.
Mm-hmm.
You could have had it towed like everybody else does to a car repair shop, not to impound. But it is like mystifying how the insurance company who goes and visits it at impound and who knows that she's getting daily charge doesn't tell her, why is it still an impound? Move it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they did. I don't know. But I think if somebody had brought it up to her attention, I think she might have freaked out and taken it out. But I just, sometimes you just expect to act like an adult without anybody instructing you. Who's that gentleman who's raising his hand? Yeah, him. Yeah.
Yes, he's...
Yeah, some guy in the...
It's my boyfriend. He was the one who actually
What did
answered
you
the
want to
door.
say?
How you doing?
Thank you for dressing up for court, by the way.
Thank you. Well, when she was talking to the insurance company supervisor, whatever, they were. He neglected to tell us he wanted to move our car to somewhere in Gloucester County, but that was an inconvenience to us. How are we going to get our car back?
Because he had told me that I would have to get it back myself. And
so they did tell you to move the car to Gloucester County. That was very helpful what he just said. So they tell you to move the car to one of their facilities and you say, no, we don't want to move the car. That's inconvenient for us. It's too far from us.
Because they told me that I would be responsible for getting it back. And truthfully, I'm a waitress.
How far is Gloucester County?
I live in Wildwood,
For a
New
month?
Jersey.
I don't know how far it is. How many minutes?
It's
About an hour,
probably
at least.
probably about an hour and a half, almost.
Half an hour? And you say an hour and a half?
Hour and a half.
Okay, so go on.
And he neglected to tell us that we were being charged for it on a lot every day.
Yeah, he didn't
didn't
tell
know.
me. He told me that they were
Okay,
going
but
to
why
take
shouldn't
care
you
of
just
it.
know it? Like, why does somebody have to tell
This
you?
is the first time I've ever been. This is my first car.
Yeah, but you do actually know that, in fact, there is a charge, a daily charge for impound, because impound tells you that. So you know there's a daily charge for impound. So why wouldn't you try to mitigate the losses that are incurring instead of just racking up a bill of $25 every day?
I didn't know it was $25 a day until I got it towed home. But they had,
How'd you get it out and get it towed home? Did you pay it?
yes.
Yeah, you had to pay the $1,300.
Yeah, it was, and I actually had to pay $1,000 because she actually did me a favor because, you know, she's a nice lady and she helped me out a lot. But
So why you suing for $1,300 for the impound if you only paid $1,000?
because I want to fix my car.
You want more money? But if you're out only $1,000 in impound, then that's what you'd be able to sue for, not $1,300 that you didn't pay.
Right.
understand the
but I
idea
also
behind
have,
court?
I also have right here where it says the damages that are done to my car.
Yeah, but you accepted $1,700 to cover the damages for your car. That's a total loss of your car. Like, in other words, you got paid for the full value of your car because that is apparently less than the repairs. So that's how insurance works. If it's a total loss, they're not going to pay $10,000 to fix a car worth $1,000. You're just going to get capped at the value of the car. So that's what ended up happening. But you want to be able to get the full value of the car and be able to fix the car, which is not necessarily your right. You got paid for the entire car. The big problem we have is this. It's very simple. There is a second problem that was created. The second problem is this enormous impound fee for leaving a car in impound with daily charges for 2 months. His answer to me is, Judge, I didn't do that part. He has no control over where you have them tow your car to. I just don't understand how you didn't tell them that night, tow it to this repair place.
The day I picked up my car, they
Not
told
picked up your car. The day the accident happens, the cops asked you where to tow it to.
No, they towed it themselves. The cop.
Okay,
and
but they'll tow. If you tell them, tow it to my mechanic, they'll tow it to your mechanic. They'll tow it wherever you want them to tow. If you don't know, if you don't have an answer and you don't have a mechanic, and you say, oh, I don't know, they say, all right, we're taking it to impound because we can't leave it here. So you got to get it because the cops had to have told you there was a charge for impound, and there is a charge for impound. How about just finding out if there's a charge for impound? You have to know this. You know there's a charge for impound. You already told me you did. You just didn't worry about it because you figured somebody else would pick up the bill, and so you let it become a problem almost as big as the car damage, and that's crazy. How's that his fault? How does he have to pay that?
Well, he hit me in the first place, so he's the main reason.
Yeah, but if he
why
hits
it
me,
happened.
I'm not an impound for 2 months. If he hits him, are you an impound for 2 months?
Not happening.
No.
So the bill, the impound bill is $3,000. Should he have to pay $3,000 to this woman?
No.
Why not? Why should he? Yeah.
Well, I think if she is not smart enough to take it to the repair shop,
Right.
she should have to pay because it's her mistake.
You know what? Nobody can do better than what you just said. You're right. Going inside the courtroom.
Look, I understand that there's a lot of confusion out there that night and that, it's not your fault that this happened. It's completely his fault that it happened. So I can understand if it takes you a day, 2 days to get your bearings together. But 2 months? 2 months was a conscious decision on your part. That part's not his fault. I mean, this happened between a Thursday to a Friday, correct? So let's say it takes you Friday. I'll give you Saturday. Sunday's a day of rest. I'll give you Sunday. By Monday, you ought to be getting your act together and figuring out that the charges are piling up, that the insurance company wasn't about to airdrop money on your lap the next day, and that maybe it's not the best idea to have it there for 2 months. So I'm going to order him to pay you 4 days, $100 worth of storage at that place. But after that, these are conscious decisions that you make that ended up being bad decisions. That's my verdict.
All right, so the plaintiff collects a little bit, nothing on pain and suffering and all that, but a little bit of storage fees. What's your feeling on that outcome there?
I wasn't even worried about the storage fees as much as I was worried about him helping me fix my car. My car was worth saving, and I still believe that it's worth saving. And truthfully, $100 doesn't really do anything, but it's going to get put to fixing my car.
Okay.
It's going to go.
At least you learned, maybe you should have been a little more on top of things and gotten.
I was on
gotten
top
right
of things.
it,
I
right?
was
Were you?
on the phone every day.
Really?
His insurance company, like I said, was the worst insurance company.
Okay.
Nobody ever called me back or nothing. It
Right.
was ridiculous.
All right. All right. Head right this way. Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. And so come on in here. It's really not her. It's none of her fault what happened.
Yes.
And you're not, maybe not responsible legally for some fees, but you're responsible for putting her in this position.
Yes. I mean, I really apologize for the accident. It was totally my fault. I do believe that the judge had a fair and just decision.
That is a wacky accident. Just went out of
Yeah,
control.
Absolutely. See, like I said, when I made the right, I had sideswiped the one car. It broke my axle, which caused
You're
the car to
lucky.
veer.
It could have been a lot worse.
I
A
know, it
lot
could have
worse
been a
things
lot
could have
worse.
happened,
Yes,
right? All right.
absolutely.
Harvey?
You are not allowed to sit on your hands and just accumulate damages, which she did. You have a duty in the law. It's called mitigation of damages, minimizing your damages. She didn't do it, and that's why she suffered. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.